It's game over for Steam Deck LCD. Oh, okay. I was about to be like, hold on now. The best bang for your buck handheld is no more. The Steam Deck is dead. Well, the original model with a 7-inch LCD is, at least. Valve has officially discontinued the handheld that opened the floodgates to a gazillion other handheld PCs. We are no longer producing the Steam Deck LCD 256 gig model, reads a note on Steam Deck's product page. Once sold out, it will no longer be available. Launched in 2022, the $399 Steam Deck LCD was the most affordable way to play PC games on the go. With its official discontinuation, the cheapest Steam Deck is now the OLED version with 512 gigabytes of storage, which costs $549.99. Valve hasn't provided an official reason why it's called the Steam Deck LCD. It could be that sales of the entry level handheld were cannibalized by the OLED model, which launched a year later in 2023 with a larger and more superior 7.4-inch display and a bigger battery. Or it could simply just be the latest victim of the current RAM shortage that's driving up the cost of memory and SSDs, or making it impossible for companies to even produce them for their devices. Yeah, it probably would have to be like, they would have to raise the price, and it's probably just, they just don't think it's worth it at this point. Yeah. Plus
they
pushing
need their money back off eBay when just modding the deck to hell, lol.
Yeah, probably, honestly. Yeah, dude. Yeah, not good for us broke gamers out there, but I do get it from a business standpoint, especially with the RAM prices. If they were killing this off just to kill it off, I would be like, well, that's kind of lame, but with the RAM prices, I get it, bro. Steam isn't the bad guy. It's all these fucking AI data centers right now that are the bad guys. And all these companies that are just straight up catering to the AI data centers instead of still caring about the fucking players, which is lame as hell. Z-Boy, what? Z-Boy gave me a game? Gee, I wonder why RAM prices are up. Maybe because of the fucking AI corporations buying them all. Yeah, dude. Yo, Dom, thank you for the streak, bro. It low-key is a big hit because this is one of the best budget options for gaming these days. Yeah, dude. Yeah, that's lame. I'm sad they're discontinuing it, honestly. I'm sad I never copped one. Just kidding. I probably wouldn't have bought the 256 gig one because I'd be like, this is not going to be enough. My fucking terabyte is barely enough. This AI is ruining our country, I tell you what. Dude, I think it's just, yeah, dude, it's fucking ruining so much shit. Whatever the reason is, the cost to get into the Steam Deck ecosystem just jumped up by 150. Granted, I do think the OLED model is better in every way and worth the extra cash, but I hate that gaming keeps getting more expensive. This hobby used to cost less over time with hardware prices coming down.
Terry, you can bite smirking face.
Thank you for the bits, Goofy. Thank you. Gaming keeps getting more expensive. This hobby used to cost less over time with hardware prices coming down, so that gaming became more accessible. But as we've seen this year, the inverse is happening. Yeah, isn't that fucking crazy? Isn't that crazy, bro? Like, shit used to go down. Like, I remember... Actually, it's not crazy that shit used to go down. It's crazy that shit goes up now. Like I was saying earlier, now with the RAM shortages, they are putting less RAM into phones and charging you more. They're charging you more for that shit now. Crazy, bro. It's mad disappointing. Mad disappointing. Now your only options is to buy it secondhand. And even still, people on fucking Facebook Marketplace are still going to charge you just a little bit less of the fucking base value of it, you know? AI is making a lot of shit ass, but if we didn't have it, I would have failed all my classes in last year.
At Dom Destroyer 986, you Boeing full Mississippi burning on AI?
What? Prices for handheld PCs are only climbing. The Lenovo Legion Go 2 starts at $1,100. And the Asus ROG Xbox Ally starts at $600. Before heavy discounts during big sales events like Black Friday or Prime Day, which, by the way, they'll lower it by like fucking 9% or some shit. It's becoming harder and harder to buy a handheld PC for under 500, and even then, the discounts are rarely actually steals. Yeah, dude. The Steam Deck LCD was the rare handheld that, while not the most powerful, offered a ton of bang for your buck. Yeah, dude, this really is mad disappointing. Like, yeah, originally I was saying like, well, you know, I get it and whatnot, but Josh is right. This is a really big L for handheld gaming. And again, it's just really sad that these fucking AI data centers are causing this shit to skyrocket right now with everything going on. And now companies have to discontinue and also raise prices on these new portable gaming consoles, which is lame as fuck. Okay. I think we need to go back to the PlayStation Portable. Those were great fucking times. Okay. Fuck it. Slap the disc in there.
Back in my day, we didn't have AI.
Back in my day, we didn't have AI. Naturally, all of this has me somewhat worried about the supply for upcoming Steam Machine. Yeah, I've heard so much about them being worried for the Steam Machine, and that's why they haven't announced Half-Life 3 yet. Because they're like, well, shit, we're actually gonna have to up the price for this. Like, it probably was gonna be like, you know, $600, $700, $800. I didn't even mean to do that. And now it's probably gonna be, if it wasn't already gonna be 1,000, it's gonna be 1,000 or more, you know, sadly, which is just lame as fuck, man. It's really, really fucking lame. I do kind of feel bad for Valve because Valve is one of the only like big companies that I don't absolutely hate, you know, because it's like there's no shareholders and shit on that shit. So it's you know, if it fails, it's the team failing, not the, you know, shareholders being like, oh no, my money, you know. But I do feel bad for them launching this shit right now. Like if they had done it 2 years ago, it would have been incredible. Now they're getting fucked over by this. Which is launching in early 2026 when the 6x6 PC console was announced in November. Valve software engineer Pierre Loup Jeffries said that it would cost more in line with what you might expect from the current PC market. Well, in only a few weeks, the current PC market has ballooned to unappreciated price gouging levels. All thanks to memory storage makers shifting their sales to AI companies who are buying up all the stock to power AI data centers. Yeah, dude, it's really sad. It's really fucking annoying that that's where everything is going right now for this type of shit. Again, for me, I'm kind of cooked. My shit's getting a little older. I'm going to have to upgrade it at some point, and it is not going to be cheap. Yeah, dude, it's all around an L. Hopefully something will happen to make this stop being so horrible. Maybe a company will come up and, you know, cater to the gamer instead of these fucking AI mega corporations. Maybe we'll get a Johnny Silverhand in here. You know what I'm saying? Yo, dude, hell yeah, Charlie Perk. I'm glad to hear that, bro, because I always feel like whenever we do these, I'm like, fuck, this is going to be mad boring. So I'm always like trying to read fast and shit because I'm like, oh my god, we got to get through this.
Chris, when we doing the crack cooking stream?
Ooh, whenever you come up here for a velo, my man. I do too. Fuck yeah, guys. I'm glad y'all are fucking with it. This was one of the most powerful emulators for the price because it could do a lot of systems on top of, you know, Steam games. Yeah, dude, mad lame. Do you guys think there is a world with, you know... Here, we'll wait for that to play before I ask my question.
This is kind of similar how Sony handled the PlayStation Vita. They released it too early and they missed out on showing the capabilities of the handheld with the main console.
The Vita was so fumbled.
They would have had real success with it. You could use the PS Vita as a controller for the main console.
The PlayStation Vita is so sick. Josh talks about it all the time, right? It's literally a handheld PS3. Like the way that the PSP was basically like almost like a handheld PS2 in the era of the PS3. That's what the Vita was. If they had just marketed it better, that would have been incredible. It would have sold like hotcakes, but they did a really bad job marketing it. They also, I feel like, didn't really have a big catalog when it came out. Again, I will say the PlayStation Portable is probably my favorite game console of all times. Like there was just so many, and there was great exclusives on it too. Like all the Star Wars Battlefront games on there, like Renegade Squadron and Elite Squadron, that never came to any other console. Incredible. Well, they Elite Squadron technically came to the DS, but we won't talk about that shit. Yeah, dude, I'll never forget. It was the biggest downgrade ever. I went from a PlayStation Portable to a Nintendo DSi XL. For me, at least, I'm sure some people, who absolutely love Nintendo, would be like, oh, fuck you. But my family was too poor to afford Nintendo exclusives because they were always like $50-$60. So I have literally no allegiance to Nintendo whatsoever other than the Wii. But yeah, chat, do we think, here was my question from earlier, talking about how pretty much every company that makes PC tech is moving to cater to AI data centers, right? Do we think there'll be a company that comes up? Because this is really the thing. This is, if capitalism is going to shine, this is where it's going to shine, at least right now in this market and shit. If there is a company that comes up that says, we will not be selling to these data centers.
I remember playing Blackgate Prison on my DS, the 5th Arkham game RIP.
That's awesome. Sorry that you don't have it anymore, King. A game, or like what would that be called? A manufacturer that comes up that says, we are here specifically for gaming. I feel like it's such a gap right now. Like, literally, they created an entire gap in the market. I don't know what AMD's stances are on this shit right now, because I've only heard about NVIDIA being like, yeah, we're like way moving away from the gamer market. We're literally just doing this for AI data centers because it makes us the most money. Like, they're cutting back on GPU production next year on their cheaper lines because they don't care about the gamers. The data centers will buy up their most expensive whatever, So I'll be interested to see. I think that's really the only way that this shit could get figured out anytime soon. And even still, that would have to be a company that would have to be pitched, and then people would probably have to invest, which probably wouldn't happen if there's no no investors that are like, oh yeah, this sounds like a good idea, because they're all have their own heads up their own asses about AI right now being the next big thing. Chris, when can I put you onto music again? Never. All of your guys' music taste is ass. Sorry, love you guys. My favorite console is the Xbox 360 and the PS2. Yeah, for me, I would say like, ooh, we should do a tier. Do you guys want to do a tier list real quick? And I'll give you guys my opinions. This guy listens to Ian, by the way. No, you guys do have good music taste. I just don't really like listening to music on stream. It feels awkward for me, like really trying to listen to it and see if I like it or not. On top of that, the 3G they introduced for it was crazy. Like, a portable console has 3G for playing on the go, except it was only used for updates on the go and not multiplayer. Oh. Yeah, Charlie Perk, I agree. There's a company that sells gaming PCs using office parts that are relatively cheaper than most pre-builts. If I find it, I'll plug it in the Discord. Appreciate you. By the way, chat, Josh having this article was so clutch. This is, like, perfect for what I love to talk about on stream. If you guys ever have any of this type of stuff, or even just like TikToks or short form or even long form videos, put it on watch on stream. I am more in my like react to articles and short form arc, so feel free to throw it in watch on stream in Discord. Also, that reminds me, I'm gonna save this to my trailers / gaming news, because I'm sure there's probably some more gaming news on here. It's not just all whatever, and we could branch out a little too.